When we look at the recent changes that are happening in Bollywood, particularly with the rise of nationalism and all the pro-Indian films, like showcasing our history, the recent films about Rajput kings, about North Indian kings, Prithviraj Chauhan, or Maratha Empire. There are a lot of great movies there are a lot of great movies that are coming out about the Marathas and the North Indian kings. But very, very few movies, very, very few, you know, projects are being taken about South India. The movie PS1 and PS2 that we have seen, well, it was okay because nobody ever made a film about the Cholas before, as far as I know. But there is a huge, huge amount of history that can be showcased to the youth of the nation. Because all we have is the independence and before that and stuff that showcase us in a negative light, or basically everything that shows Indians as losers. That's the honest truth of it. We have to have film that focuses on the great kings and conquerors and their lives in depth, and stuff not just about the drama in their personal lives like they showed with Aditya Karikalan, which is actually false. But because his life didn't have any of that personal drama that PS1 or PS2 movie showed, it was more or less fiction. I believe like he had a wife, he had children. He today has descendants. I don't know why they questioned all of that. Did not question all of that. But anyway, it was a good movie, and what's done is done. I want to see movies by directors such as Rajamouli ji who show the conquests of Rajaraja Cholan, or the different kings in the Kakatiya dynasty, or the Chalukya dynasty. Like the only film I ever saw about one of the greatest emperors of South India, Pulikesi, was a comedy film. I mean, in the old days, I think in the black and white movies, there are a lot of movies showcasing the great kings of India, but you have to seriously make films on a large scale which depict the epic grandeur of our country. We had armies of millions of soldiers fighting against millions of soldiers. We had great kings who went on conquests across the globe. I don't know where this lie originated from Mahatma Gandhi or Nehruji or who, I don't know, but they say that India never invaded any country. That's all false. We had empires spanning half of Asia, to the east and to the west. We had empires that spanned the whole of the steppes, half of the Middle East. We have had a bad couple of centuries, but that does not change the fact that we're the oldest and greatest and most powerful and largest and wealthiest country that ever existed in human history. And the grandeur and greatness of many of the kings and emperors of India should be showcased. Not just the Marathas are great, but there is one part. I want to see films about Karikalan the Great. He was the greatest emperor of South India. In the last 3,000 years, he is the single greatest emperor of South India, Karikalan. There are no movies about that. There are no movies about Pulikesi. There are no movies about the Kakatiyas. There are no movies about. There's one movie about the Kakatiyas. That's also like a drama thing in Telugu. I want to see movies like The Lord of the Rings, the seriousness that they show about the achievements, the conquests, and the wars of the Indian kings, not just some theatrical drama, Shakespearean drama. Because when you look at European kings, when you look at they make epic movies about the small rulers who just had 10,000 soldiers, which is like just one or two battalions in our countries. This small fight, that small fight, this small country attacking that small country, like France has a small war with Germany, or England has the Vikings and all this stuff, the small, small, tiny, like, you know, uh, almost insignificant, minuscule conflicts, they portray on a huge, large scale. We should have series of, you know, film that showcase the conquests of the Cholas across Southeast Asia, like a series like the Vikings, that you know that show the small, small raids by Viking warlords and whatnot. But that is like 10,000 times smaller and insignificant in history compared to what our people did. We have to have a Bharat centric and honest and real narrative about the greatness of our rulers. The only thing that we see is what Akbar did, what Aurangzeb did, or what the British did. That's not. And 90 to 95% of our history is not showcased in film. That's an atrocity in the modern world, in my opinion. And only the great and grand films that I see are stuff like Bahubali, which are fiction. We have real cities, real wars that are so much more grand than Bahubali. That I mean, particularly, I think directors like Rajamouli should take this as a challenge and showcase the greatness of Indian empires. This is something that I would love to watch, and I believe that this is something that a lot of my generation is missing out on. So please think about it.